and ruin my first live show tonight, and I'm not going to let her. I'm not going to block her, but I'm just going to do something a lot of people should and ignore her. Okay. Number 2, you're easily flattered. Narcissists love being the center of attention and take compliments very well. That does sound familiar, doesn't it? They'll believe every word of a compliment and take it at face value, even if it's ridiculously exaggerated. Okay. So, they'll believe every word of a compliment and take it at face value, even if it's ridiculously exaggerated. I know a lot of people who are... They will feel a compliment all day long. A lot of women I know, like especially women I've dated in the past, I would ask them, or I'd tell them, "You look great today. You look wonderful. You're doing amazingly. You look fantastic." And they'll say thank you. And they'll just be kind of like, "Oh, thank you, you know. But when some dude off the street compliments them, "Oh my God, I got a guy telling me that I look great. No, it was wonderful." I must have been dating a bunch of narcissists because they loved compliments. And it's almost as though they reveled in them. They rolled in them. They just felt the aura of the compliment, no matter what it was. And they just let them carry that on throughout the day, which really proves that they're very weak people. And that's okay. You know. They'll believe every word of a compliment and take it at face value, even if it's ridiculously exaggerated. You know, I know people who feel like they have fans when really they have people laughing at them. Like the William Hung of radio or something like that. They feel like they have these wonderful fans and really everybody's just turned and laughed at them. And they take that as a compliment. Very narcissistic. Very self-centered. Very, very, very sad. Apocalypse writes in the chat room, does everyone have a certain portion of narcissism? Is the goal to keep the levels in check? I would imagine so, but there is a difference between not self-love, of course, but, you know, self-esteem and narcissism. There's a difference between those two. And the main difference is basically the levels, as Apocalypse says. You can have self-confidence, but narcissism takes it to a whole new level. Number 3, you're over the top. Most narcissists love to make a big deal out of everything, making everything over the top. It comes down to loving attention, and they'll do anything to get it from others. You have to have a certain amount of that to be in radio, because people won't listen to you if you're just boring and droning on. They're not going to listen to you unless you have something powerful to say. And they're not going to listen to you unless you really, really put something out there and make it a big deal. Like I'm making a big deal out of this article that was written in May on a study that was done in 2009. But I'm making it a big fucking deal. It is relevant. It is right now. It is here. And this is the day and time. It comes down to loving attention, and they'll do anything to get it from others. Yeah. A lot of women I know... I mean, look at the Kardashians, for instance. I hate to go back to the Kardashians, but look at the Kardashians, for instance. Practically do anything to get attention. Kim started out having a sex tape with a B-rate rapper named Ray J, okay? And if you look at these, look at Instagram. Look at all these women flaunting their asses. Look at Ariel Winter, for instance. Ariel Winter, she is a proponent of body image, but when she goes out there, it's like, you're not fooling anybody. You just want to show people that you got a banging body. Same with Demi Lovato. Same with all of these people. They take these pictures which accentuate every curve, Photoshop to fuck, and they put those out there and they want people to react. That's what it is. It's narcissistic. They want people to react. They get off on the, oh my God, this is so great. So many people like that out there. So many people like that out there. A young lady by the name, well, I'm not going to name her, but she's a cosplayer who I interviewed last year, was sweet as pie. Asked her for an interview this year. She blew me off. Why? Because she's now doing nudes on Patreon. I mean, she started out as like the biggest dork. Like she was doing like Sailor Moon and all this stuff, and now she goes off and now she's feeling her oats, right? She feels like she's something. So now she's going on Patreon and she's doing nudes for like 50 or $100 to her elite subscribers. She's gone from being a cosplayer to being some kind of Playboy model or something like that. My buddy Apocalypse says, that's a pattern, cosplay to stripper. I guess so. I don't know. But point being, like, when you crave attention like that, and I guess she realized that she was not getting the attention that she wanted by dressing up and going to these cosplay things, she started offering nudes. And last year at the interview, when I interviewed her, she was like, I don't know, I'm not too comfortable with it. Now she seems very comfortable with the idea of taking nude pictures for people. And it's all because of attention. All because of attention. The article continues, narcissists often see themselves as heroes and try to stand out due to their exaggerated sense of self-importance. Hence why some aren't over the top and can seem more quiet and reserved. I know a few of those. I know quite a few of those, actually. Some people I've worked with, very quiet, but they feel themselves just pushing, like they feel like they are the heroes, like they need to carry everything on their backs. They feel like the world revolves around them, like they're Atlas, like they're holding up the world. God, I still can't believe someone went in the chat room and said, I'm here to get somebody. And if he's in the other chat room, then he's just a bitch. Anyway, spent enough time talking about that. This is going on iHeartRadio and everywhere. Hardly anybody's going to know about a little feud. So, anyway. So, these people, they stand out as heroes, and they feel like they can go and do everything. These are like the dudes who are trying to fix their own car, and they saunter in. I ran into one of these guys on Sunday. Saunters in, like just walks into AutoZone. I'm trying to get some AC coolant, trying to fix my AC. And this guy saunters in, and he just walks up, puts his whole arm on the counter, leans forward, and starts talking shop. Very, very quiet dude, but very self-important. Was kind of like looking around like, you guys, he like totally cut in line. You guys aren't as important as I am. I need an alternator, bitches. And it's like he took his time slowly and purposely to try and just hold everybody up and make sure that everybody knew that he was the business. Another guy, I was dropping off cans, right? I was dropping off cans at the recycling center. Guy walks up in front of me and another woman. I say, excuse me, the line starts here. He says, no, you're going to let me go. And I'm thinking, do I really want to get into a fist fight at a recycling center? So I let him have his moment. He laughed. It's really funny. He felt himself a hero that day. Dr. Zlatan Krizen, an associate professor in the Department of Psychology at Iowa State University, told HuffPost that narcissism expresses itself in two different ways: grandiose, where bragging and showing off is exhibited, and shyness, where a person might not, quote, be out there with a bullhorn, but is sitting on the corner, fantasizing about when their day will come and resenting others. Yeah, I know, I feel that. I get that about myself. I would sit there sometimes and think, man, I'm going to blow up one day, whether it's on radio or it's on music-wise. My band's going to hit a big single. We're going to go on tour. When I was wrestling, I was like, dude, I'm going to be WWE, right? You have to have some kind of that. You have to have something like that around in order to push you forward when struggles come up. But not to the point where you're sitting there and going, I am going to take over the world. Ha 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 ha. Kind of like Kanye West. He thinks he's going to take over the world. And yeah, he's on top. Grandiose, where bragging on showing off is exhibited, certainly. But who's a shy narcissist? Maybe villains. I don't know, like super villains who sit there in their padded cells going, I need to take over something. I'm going to take over. Ha 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 ha. Number 4, you get jealous and you're very competitive. Boy, that's sure. Is any of this ringing true for any of you guys with certain people on this platform? Me, it is. It really is. Most people get jealous from time to time, but for a narcissist, this is extreme. Narcissists have a constant need to compare themselves to others rather than justifying their success on their own terms. Now, that is something I've had to learn. I would compare myself to others. I'd look at numbers. I'd do all this stuff. When really, my success comes in people telling me I had a great show, people telling me they listened, getting new listeners, getting people to say, hey, I checked you out. It's good. I'll share it. That's my own success. I don't need to have a big old grip of numbers to tell me that I'm being successful. The fact that I'm even coming out here and doing this, that I was even good enough to be accepted on iHeartRadio, even though they're going down into the toilet. I mean, that's saying something. And the fact that the resident narcissist on this Spreaker network decided to visit just tells me more. So, narcissists have a constant need to compare themselves to others. I've already read that. Hence, they tend to be sore losers, whether that be with regard to a friendly game of Scrabble, a relationship, or a promotion at work. Yes, indeed. I would really, really feel that way, like when I'd be passed over for a position or promotion, anything like that. I would really feel that way. Boy, I'm really turning out to be a narcissist, aren't I? Oh, boy. So, yeah, and as far as friendly games, yeah, when I was younger, I would get really involved in friendly games of cards or whatever, and I'd get really pissed when I lost. Football games, Madden football, I'd get pissed if I lost. But you have to have some of that. I think this is just the extreme that they're talking about here. Not the little, not the little bit that keeps you pushing. So, Darren says you kind of are. Well, I have to be. Could I put on the type of show I was putting on if I wasn't a total narcissist? With all the shit that I've gone through on this network, you think that I could come back if I wasn't a total and complete narcissist? I don't think I know I'm better than 90% of this fucking platform. I know that I have that talent. I have the gift of gab. I have charisma. I know this. So I kind of am a narcissist, but I'm cool about it. Like, I'm not better than anybody. Like, I know I'm not better. I just know what I'm good at, and I know what others are good at. So, and Spreaker's free form, man. 90% of the people on here don't even know how to turn on a fucking mic. Okay, so I know how to turn on a mic. Therefore, I am more skilled at this. I don't think that's a problem. So, speaking to Time, psychotherapist Dr. Joseph Brugo, author of The Narcissist You Know, said, quote, "They, the narcissist, have to make themselves out to be superior to somebody else in a relentless quest to prove their dominance. The opponent could be a stranger or someone you love. That compulsive drive to come out on top, no matter who ends up on bottom, top and bottom, hey, makes it difficult to celebrate other people's successes, like, say, your college pal's beautiful new house, because in that moment, someone else is the winner." You see this with, like, Katy Perry and Taylor Swift. And all these rappers, Beyonce, hip-hop, Rihanna, throwing shade, they call it spilling tea. They're all doing that because these are all successful people fighting for position, jostling for the public's adoration and respect. Like Rihanna saying that she slept with Jay-Z on Twitter and then quickly deleting it. But, shots fired. These people are jostling for position. And it's because of that, in that moment, someone else is the winner. You think Rihanna's upset that Beyonce's doing really well? I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's very upset. I'm sure she thinks she has more talent in her right butt cheek than Beyonce has in her whole body. But she can't act like, she can't be completely, she can do little pics and little stuff like that. She can put in